Welcome guys, this is Ella from Stop Me O channel, back with another Life is Strange video. I know it's been a while, I'm really sorry about that. I've been exploring different types of videos lately, mostly reactions. Point is, I always go back to Life is Strange videos sooner or later, especially since I don't really think the franchise is anywhere close to done. That's something to discuss for today, so there's a bunch of news to cover, and I'm going to discuss that point by point, so let's jump right into it. Where we are right now with Life is Strange. We have had the original game, obviously, Life is Strange. Then we had... Oh, the window's open. Then we had Before the Storm, which was made by a different developer, Decknine, from Colorado, I think. A prequel which I found to be a good game. Some people maybe disagree, but I actually enjoyed it. It wasn't as good as the original, but it was nice. I actually recently replayed all the game in the chronological order, and I covered that in a video, so you can check that video out. Then Dontnod released Life is Strange 2, which, it received mixed opinions, I'd say. Some people liked it a lot, some people disliked it strongly. I also made a review video when it comes to Life is Strange 2. Then we found out that Decknine has been working on True Colors game, which was a new Life is Strange title loosely tied to both games, more or less to Before the Storm, since it was their game, Decknine's game. In the meantime, we found out that Decknine is taking over Life is Strange. Life is Strange sequels will be developed by Decknine, Insider says. Before the Storm developer will allegedly handle all things Life is Strange going forward. Talking to Twitter insider Emily Rogers stated that all the future Life is Strange projects will be handled by Decknine, the studio that developed Before the Storm, the prequel to the first game. According to Rogers, Square Enix and Dontnod parted ways a long time ago. That's news from January 2021. I already discussed that. Maybe some people aren't aware that from now on it seems like Decknine will be the one working on all the Life is Strange titles with Square Enix, and Dontnod is doing their own thing, which I will also mention later on, even though it's not strictly Life is Strange related, but I will mention their new title by the end of the game. No, what game? By the end of the video. So we know what games have been released, and we know that Decknine will be handling new titles. So what's going on with the franchise at the time? Senior narrative designer at Square Enix, Philip Lawrence, mentioned that the developer is uninterested in returning to episodic format. Now, if you remember, True Colors, even though it actually did have chapters, it was released all at once. So it wasn't like we had to wait for each new episode. It was all happening in the same week, basically. Well, for me, I've been playing it every single day for 5 days. The game was released all at once. It's been like a True Colors week for me. I've been streaming it daily practically, and even though it was really cool, I would definitely miss episodic format because, you know, there was just so much going on between the episodes. We had the trailers, reacting to trailers, discussing stuff, making theory videos, theorizing about what's going to happen next. There was the waiting period, which, by the way, Dontnod overdid it. I also discussed that previously, but, you know, with Life is Strange 2, the breaks between episodes were so long, you basically almost could forget that the game even exists. That's been happening to me. Months and months of waiting. It's been sort of difficult to keep it as immersive. Before the Storm handled it better. I think episodes were out monthly, so it's been quite intense. 3 months was it, or 4 with the farewell episode. They're done with that. It's their decision. It worked for True Colors. True Colors sold very well. So in an interview with website Rock Paper Shotgun, senior narrative stated that I can't imagine we'd go back to the episodic model, and continues to note the reaction to True Colors was very positive. While the game is still delivered in an episodic format akin to the other titles, it was released as a full package as opposed to being split into separate parts released at different intervals. Lawrence revealed, as you can imagine, it was a decision that was talked about and agonized over quite a bit, but I think on reflection it was the right decision. The fact that they're even discussing the format of future Life is Strange games in itself means that there will be future Life is Strange games. And it was mentioned on Reddit some months ago, I noticed that. Someone brought up the fact that Decknine has been looking for people to hire for their new game that they are currently working on. Here's one of the ads. Decknine game is looking to hire a talented senior graphics programmer to help define and deliver the look of an unannounced AAA single-player adventure game. Given the fact they have been discussing dropping the episodic format, given the fact that they have been hiring, it means that they are clearly working on a new game, and since they took over Life is Strange titles, it's safe to assume that they are working on a new Life is Strange game. I'm fairly certain of that. But like, what's the game? Here's the interesting part of the video. Not that it hasn't been interesting up until now. I'd say about a year ago, or maybe 2 years ago, there have been some leaks when it comes to 2 new Life is Strange titles. One was pretty accurate. It's been discussed on Reddit. It's been quite accurate because the leak or spoilers or inside information, however you wanna call that, it stated that the Decknine is working on a new Life is Strange game. It described that it would have an Asian protagonist and whatnot. It was pretty spot on when it comes to true colors, and later on it turned out to be true. Now, if you remember, and maybe if you don't want to know anything, if you want to go in blindly, then you might want to skip this part of the video. I will make chapters. At the same time, there were talks when it comes to new Max and Chloe game, new Life is Strange game about Max and Chloe, which would be a direct sequel to the first game, and it would be handled by Decknine. Later on, it's sort of gone quiet when it comes to that. No one's been talking about it for like a year now. A lot of people assume that we have moved on, that they have moved on when it comes to a Life is Strange projects. But lately, there's been a new Reddit post, and someone mentioned that they have some sort of inside information when it comes to new Life is Strange game. It would involve Max. If rumors are to believe, the Life is Strange video game franchise's 4th main series entry could revisit original protagonist Max Caulfield. Supposedly, the new game follows an adult version of Max who has gone on to become a professor at an art school. Furthermore, her time manipulation abilities have been upgraded so she can travel to alternate realities to use that to solve mysteries. As commenters have pointed out, this progression can be consistent with the way Max's powers are depicted in the Life is Strange comic books. Life is Strange 4 is also to carry over the player's decision from the first Life is Strange game, meaning that Chloe Price, Max's best friend and potential love interest, will make an appearance if players opted to keep her alive. Now, what does this mean for us? Is this to be trusted? We have no idea, it's just basically something that someone said on Reddit. It could be true, potentially it is true, since Decknine is working on a new game. It's very safe to assume that it's a new Life is Strange title. Rumors like that have been coming up every now and then. I think that if a rumor comes up enough times, it's also safe to assume that it is sort of true. If I were to guess, I would say that Decknine is actually working on a new Life is Strange game that includes Max and potentially Chloe. Now here's the tricky part. Some people don't really like that. Some people don't want Decknine handling Max and Chloe. Some people consider that Max and Chloe's story is done. Some people are afraid that their choice from the first game would be disregarded, although they did mention that it would be sort of taken into consideration. But personally, me having saved Chloe, I just can't really imagine a game about Max without Chloe in there. And I don't want to just know that Chloe's somewhere out there, or to have a occasional phone call or occasional meet up. If there's a new Max and Chloe game, I want them both there, and I want them both there for the entire game. Could be selfish, I don't know. I always sort of considered that there are many possibilities for such a title to come to exist. You have a young adult with time traveling possibilities. She has a companion with her, potentially a love interest. There's just so much to explore. An art school professor idea, it's interesting. I'd love to believe that they would handle it well, though I am a bit worried because I just don't think that Decknine can handle Max and Chloe as well as Dontnod did. I think Dontnod puts more depth when it comes to their games. As much as I enjoyed Before the Storm and True Colors, they both felt a bit superficial. I enjoyed playing them a lot. I think that especially Before the Storm and Life is Strange together is just such a wonderful experience. It's just that I don't really think that Decknine can reach the same level as Dontnod, and that worries me a bit. Now, if I have a choice to have a new game or not to have a new game, I will always prefer to have the new game to try it out. If I don't like it, I can forget it ever existed. Although that's been an issue with The Last of Us 2 for me. But yeah, that's the rumor. That's out there. I wanted you to know, in case you weren't aware, that this is actually happening, that there are rumors again when it comes to Life is Strange 4 with Max and Chloe. Now, I'm curious to hear your thoughts and your opinions about that. Do drop a comment down below, or you can join Discord. where we can discuss that stuff. I'd like to know what your thoughts are and what your expectations are. I know that many people don't really want to see Max and Chloe again. They think that that story is done. However, I don't think any story is done if there's so many possibilities ahead. If there's a new Life is Strange game, I will be looking forward to it. I will be keeping my fingers crossed and I'll be rooting for Decknine to like pull it off. But at the same time, I will probably be a bit worried that we might get a title that's not as deep as Life is Strange. It's just a bit more superficial in a way. Next bit of Life is Strange news is that Remastered Collection is coming to Nintendo Switch. In an official trailer released during E3, Nintendo announced that both Life is Strange True Colors and Remastered Collection would be making their way to Switch later this year. Now that was announced in 2021, then it's been postponed, but a couple of days ago they have announced that it's actually coming to Nintendo Switch next month. September 27th, and it's called Arcadia Bay Collection, and that includes Life is Strange Remastered, Life is Strange Before the Storm Remastered. Now I don't really care as much because I don't have a Nintendo Switch. Final news, it's not really Life is Strange related, but out of respect for Dontnod, Dontnod is actually releasing a new game 1st of September. Walk the path of Gerda as her quiet life is turned upside down during the World War II occupation of her small Danish village. Choose where to go, how to act, and who to trust in this intimate narrative RPG life experience inspired by real life events. How far would you go to protect your loved ones? I think at one point there was actually a trailer, a Life is Strange trailer that included that line. How far would you go to protect the loved ones? I think for the remastered edition. So yeah, I'm so when it comes to that game. On one hand, I'm pretty excited because it's Dontnod and I trust their narrative decisions. Maybe after Life is Strange 2 a bit less, but still I did trust them. It seems like they're quite passionate about that project. I think one of the developers' grandmother was actually that very girl that inspired the events. I'm not a big fan of that kind of style when it comes to games. I prefer games like Life is Strange, like normal 3D ones, not that type of art and gameplay. But I am willing to give it a go. I'm pretty curious about it, and like I said, excited because it's Dontnod and because they seem to be quite passionate about it. Now I actually got a key for that game, so I will be playing it one of these days. I might be recording it or I might play it on my own and post a review, so just stick around. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because when the game's out on 1st of September I will be posting something. I don't know what, but I'll be posting something for sure about that, or even the game itself. Actually, let me know what you prefer. Yeah, that's it when it comes to Life is Strange news. Thanks so much for dropping by and watching the video. Stay tuned for more. And like I said before, let me know your thoughts down below, especially when it comes to the Life is Strange 4 news or information that we got. Stay safe, guys. Have a nice weekend. This is Ola from Stop Me Ocean. Bye.